So, hi there, I'm Neppy and I do Neppy Invests. And today, my video on this series of Appendix 4C, October 2020, is on Uscom. Thought maybe it could have been USCom or something, but it's definitely Uscom because I saw a video with the CEO or someone who said Uscom, so I'll go with that. They should know. And a nice little heart-shaped symbol there representing something they do. So, wasn't going to do Uscom initially, but when the Appendix 4C came in, I looked at it and went, I'm going to do a video on this because it is not so much exciting, but it's interesting enough that I thought I would do it and actually put this company on my watch list. So this is their operating cash flow from their report, and we saw a cash receipts 1.3, which is not too high, but right at the bottom there, they were cash flow positive in operations to the tune of $97,000. So at least the start, nothing too high, but you do have to take into account that the government grants and tax incentives was $97,000. So if you take that away from the $97,000, you're left with zero. So they had zero cash flow in operations for the year, or for the quarter, I should say, not the year. The cash receipts through history. So I have taken it all the way back to October 2013 when I first started doing this for Uscom. We can see a good, very slow uptrend in cash receipts from October 13 to April 17, and we saw the cash receipts sort of level off. Not much traction there at all, so no excitement in the markets, no excitement here in Neppy Invest world. And then we saw this massive peak in cash receipts in April 2020. Uscom is a beneficiary of COVID-19. I'll just put that out right now. And this is sort of proof of that. And not only these cash receipts, it's also what they do, and I'll get into that in a second. And we've seen those cash receipts come back, and the previous of this quarter, October 2020, is the second highest cash receipts that they've had in their history. So these are some of the details in the quarterly cash flow report that I'll just point out. So cash on hand is up by $180,000, so $2 million of cash on hand, which is pretty good. Uscom China is profitable and cash flow positive. So that's for the first 3 quarters of 2020. And this is just something I just took from the cash flow report, is most of their cash is from one of their products called Uscom 1A. Uscom 1A is a cardiac output monitor, which is used to monitor the heart rate, I suppose, of COVID-19 victims. COVID-19, yeah. And actually, they do say here they expect significantly increase activity or cash flow from some of their other products, I think. So BP Plus, Spirosonic, and VentiTest products, or expecting significant cash flow increases soonish. So that's exciting too for me and maybe for even shareholders. In fact, if I go back to that one, they also mention here what some of those, like VentiTest provides a simple, accurate, and rapid method of biotechnicians to test large numbers of ventilators. So again, yeah, ventilators, because a lot of ventilators being used now for COVID-19 patients. So that has some significant potential for growth in the future too. So looks like there's a lot of things going on in Uscom, which is quite exciting. But the market actually didn't like this quarterly cash flow report. So when you look at the 1-year daily chart, the main thing I look at here is this massive spike in share price back in the start of February 2020 this year. We saw the share price go from like 12 cents or so to all the way to 52 cents in a week of 5 trading days, which is quite significant. And some of those increases, like 30 to 50% a day, were significant. And ever since then, we've just seen the share price sort of gradually drop away in price. We've seen a little bit of volatility, but that volatility is getting smaller and smaller as we go along. And then right at the end there, we just saw a little bit of a decrease in share price based off this quarterly cash flow report. So typically, in companies like these, small cap companies, you tend to see those share price increases to be much more violent than the decreases, which is sort of the opposite to what you expect in the general market. And it's just the general market, we usually see sort of, you get a market correction is usually much sharper, quicker than sort of a bull run. Bull run can last a long time, but it's more gently more of a gently sloped upwards than the large slope downwards when you get a market correction. And it has all to do with fear and greed in the general market. So the general investor, they tend to be much more fearful than greedy. But when you get companies like Ascom and Co., investors who like to play in this sector or this section, small caps, more risk, more, I suppose you can say they're more risk-taking. Greed tends to be much more powerful motive than fear, which is why you get these massive share price increases, and then when the share price starts to decrease, it's more gradual over time. So typically when I see a share price spike like that, I just want to go back and look at announcements to see if anything can explain the share price increase. Usually there is some sort of positive news. In this case, there wasn't. So we've seen the share price increases per day on the top there. So 38 one day, 50 the next, then -11 one day, then up 31% and up 52%. If you're a shareholder during that period, you would have been loving that, especially if you're holding from 13.5 cents. You would have done very well if you sold out at some point along the way, particularly on the 10th of February. So you can see there was no announcement on the 4th of February to sort of show you why there was this massive increase in share price. In fact, on the 6th of February, the ASX did give them ASX price query, and I'll show you the next slide what was said in that price query. But then on the 10th of February, they did mention there was a material increase in ASCOM 1A orders in China. So there's two ways to look at this. The cynic or skeptical person would say there was some insider information who were using that inside information to buy en masse before this announcement was announced to the market. That's a possibility. The more optimist, sunshine-looking person would say, no, the market drew a connection between COVID-19 and Ascom, and the market knew, or whoever was riding the share price higher, knew that US Com was going to become a beneficiary out of COVID-19 based off the products they had in place. So that's the way I look at it, and I think that's maybe more likely the scenario here, because the market at times can be quite smart, at times anyway. And this is their response to the ASX price query, and they note that there is speculation in online investment forums regarding the applicability of the US COM1A device in the monitoring of coronavirus patients in China. So they were saying, and I probably want to say hello to HotCopper. This is more than likely HotCopper. So there were some people in HotCopper who drew that connection between the ASCOM1A device and China coronavirus problems. So you just see there, they said the US COM1A device accounts for 75% of the company's sales, and 62% of those sales were occurring in China. So I think the market, that's good proof that the market drew that good connection between the two, Ascom and coronavirus. So that's why we saw the share price increase by a lot. And there was some very smart people in HotCopper, even though I won't recommend HotCopper to most people, because some of the commentary on HotCopper is really bad, quite crappy. I think you do get some good information out there on occasion. So that's all I got from USCom for today, or I should say ASCOM for today. I'm going to say USCom from now on. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. But other than that, that's it for me for today. I've done quite a few videos today, and this is going to be it for me, thankfully. Anyway, I'm not a professional again, just an ordinary investor, just wanting to do videos for entertainment, educational, and research purposes. And that's all. So have a good day. Bye.